Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Intuitive. This week's been a wonderful week in terms of universe just bringing up a lot of topics that are worth talking about. I'm going to start with the first topic. It presented itself to me a few days ago, and one day I got a family member reaching out to me and a very close friend and also a client in literally one day talking about their frustration for feeling stuck. And it is a state of mind that we've all been in a lot of times. It starts from feeling like nothing you have done or you will ever do is going to make a difference. And literally, it is a bad place to be in. And it's difficult when you're going through it because it kind of feels like you have your blinders on and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I was talking to a friend of mine via text, and she is an amazing human being, very accomplished, literally well known around the world, and well skilled, speaks a few languages, very educated, very well read, well traveled, and she was feeling low. And no matter what I tried to tell her, it didn't matter. She just didn't want to, or let me rephrase that. She just wasn't able to see the beauty of her life, the magic in her life, and the magic of life, period. And after back and forth quite a few times, I had to go to work, so we wrapped up our conversation. And then right before that conversation, I was approached by a family member who also was feeling the same way. And I sympathize with anyone who feels stuck, and I have been feeling stuck quite a few times in my own life, and I sort of came up with ways to pull myself out of that place, because feeling stuck is feeling helpless, is feeling like you have no control over your life, feels like the life is happening to you and you have no role to play. It feels like you're a victim. It feels like there is no way out. It feels like you're doomed. And when you are in that state of mind, you feel depressed. You feel sad. You feel unmotivated. You feel like you want to go home, close the blinds, lock the door, turn off the light, and go to sleep and isolate yourself and do nothing, which is the worst thing to do. Because when you do nothing, nothing will change. Life is magical, but the wand is in our hands. And if we don't whip our wands, nothing will happen. So I found that when I was going through those rough spots in my life, and I had quite a few, as we all have had, I would start with finding joy in little things. It could be your favorite beverage. Let's say coffee, mocha, hot chocolate. Something that has always consistently brought you joy. It could be your favorite piece of music. It could be your favorite magazine. It could be your favorite book or a movie. It could be a friend who always vibrates you in the right way. It could be someone that makes you laugh. It could be someone that makes you think. It could be someone that by just being around, you feel hopeful. And I found that when I would do those things, slowly but surely, I was able to shift my focus from what I don't have and from what has been done and what has happened to what I would like to happen. A few months ago, we had an issue in our family and we had to go see our therapist. And we went on and on and on and on about what happened and how horrible it was and how sad and angry and all those wonderful feelings that we were all feeling. And she listened and listened. And then after we were all kind of talked out, then she said, okay, well, that's what's happened. What would you like to see in the future in regards to your family, in regards to your family members, in regards to your life? What would you like to happen? And it was one of the wisest things that I've ever heard, because usually when we've been wronged or we feel that life is unfair, we keep repeating what hasn't happened and what has happened that's been very unfair, and completely remove ourselves from that equation. But by simply shifting our mindset from the past, from the event or events or series of events that brought us pain, that we didn't like, we can shift our mind to, okay, what would we like to see? By just thinking about it, it kind of puts your mindset in a very hopeful, childlike, dreamlike state where it'll allow you to pull out your wand and start ordering what you need and what you want to the universe. In the last episode, we talked about visualization, and visualization starts with our minds. And then we can find pictures and things and music or movies or artifacts that will remind us of what we initially visualized about in our brains, in our heads. And I remember when I had no evidence of things ever going to change. I just had my pen and my paper, and I would just write about where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be, and just occasion, situations, scenarios where I was being joyful, I was happy, I was content, and I was feeling in charge of my own life and my destiny. One of the things that I find it very difficult when you talk to people whom you love and you're very close to is they want to be heard, which is our job, to hear each other and validate their emotions. If they're sad, we validate that, you're feeling sad. If they're angry, we validate that anger. We don't shame them. But after the initial expression of their feelings, then it's time to shift that, not get stuck in that gear. Because if we're stuck in the past events, we're only bringing it forward. If we felt stuck in the past and all we're talking about is how life is unfair and how we're stuck and how we have nothing to look forward to and how all the good things that have been going on in your lives are just of no value, what we're really saying to the universe, which is always listening, by the way, is we're ungrateful. And we're going to talk about gratitude over and over and over again. But universe does not reward people who show the lack of gratitude. As a matter of fact, it's really easy to be grateful when everything's honky-dory, but that almost doesn't matter as much. What's very important is being grateful when things are rough. And I find that it's so easy yet difficult when you're just in the bad mood, when life is just a B word. To just sit down and start with small things like, if you had a good night's sleep the night before, be grateful for that. If you didn't have to struggle to get your needs met, like, let's say eating, getting fed, getting dressed, housing, health, support. I mean, the list goes on. And if we start with these things, it's miraculous how quickly we will change our mood. And unfortunately, when it comes to others pointing that out to us, we don't always like hearing it because for some reason, just if we have felt comfortable in our own pain, we will almost do anything to stay in a painful situation. And human beings and their brains are magical because it provides you with enough evidence as why the other person is wrong or why the other person is being unfair or invalidating or not hearing you right or telling you something or so many other examples, so we can prove to ourselves that we don't want to hear. The focus is I don't have. The focus is not I do have. Because as soon as we go to I have A, B, C, D, I have a powerful brain, I have a wonderful heart, I have a delicious meal, I have a nice hair, I have nice face, I have a cute smile, I have so many gifts, and we all have gifts. The one thing that we should all agree on is universe doesn't give everything to everyone, but universe gives everybody things that are unique to them, and those are gifts. Those are gifts. That's why we won't all be Olympians. We won't all be famous pianists. We won't all be supermodels. We won't all be university professors because everybody has their own unique gifts. And because of that uniqueness of it, more reason to be grateful for it. It's what makes you and I special. And one of the ways in which people feel more stuck is when you're in that place, you tend to isolate and push people out of your lives. And that's exactly when you need people. You need people to remind you when you can't see, to remind you of the things that you are unable to see at the moment. You need people who can make you laugh. You need people who can hug you, who can grab your hand and hold it. You need people who can just sit next to you. But don't expect anything to change if you deliberately and decidedly want to stay in your pain. And if you keep repeating, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, then the universe heard you and will give you plenty of reasons to feel ugly. Furthermore, but if you sit and think to yourself that you're amazing, that you are lucky to be alive, that you are lucky to have your uniqueness, you are lucky to have people in your life that you value, you are lucky to have read the books that have taught you things, you are lucky that you've had food that have tickled your buds and brought you joy. And we have a variety of hobbies and variety of ways in which we entertain ourselves. So nobody can say that I don't have anything. And sometimes when we watch those commercials about underprivileged people in different countries on different continents, and with the little they have a smile on their face. And I'm sure those people have more moments of joy and gratitude than the rest of us combined sometimes. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and she's so talented, and I was reminding her of how gifted she is and how privileged she is to have those gifts. And she told me that, well, I came with the gift. I never asked for it. But what I really wanted was ABC, so therefore what I have is of no value. And it really made me sad, because to look in the mirror and not see the gifts, and to look around us and not see the magic is very ungrateful. And I'm trying to find another word for it, but that's what keeps popping into my head. And I wish that we all have people, places, things, and tools in our lives that when we feel stuck, we can latch on to those and pull us out of that place, because feeling stuck is not real. It's a state of mind. And the state of mind, if we know nothing about life, what we know about life is you can change that state of mind. Sometimes we go from sad to happy in a second. I experienced that with my first cup of coffee in the morning, where I wake up and maybe I haven't had a good night's sleep. Maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe I have aches and pains, and I have to get up and I have to start getting ready. And the first sip or two just transforms me into this giddy, hopeful, ready to kick the world's A for the day. Or grabbing your favorite book and realizing that the night before you stop reading at a very interesting part, and as soon as you grab your book, you just get into it. It's exhilarating. It makes you want to scream because it's just exciting. So we can change our mind. We can change the state of our minds. And if somebody says no, just think about it. Most people want to win the lottery. Just think for 1 second. You're having the most miserable day. And for most people, if for 1 second they close their eyes and they envision that they just want like $60 million lottery ticket, then if they really, really go to that place and they're just going to start dancing and moving around, and just the expression on their face would change. And not to say that the money is going to make you happy, but I'm just using a very tangible example because everybody has bought a lottery ticket at least once in their life, so they can relate to that feeling of like freedom and, I can do whatever I want and go wherever I want or spoil whomever I want. So we can change our mind is what I'm trying to get at. And I hope that we will reach out to people in our lives who are in a hard place, and especially when they feel stuck and they are isolating themselves, and gently but kindly try to give them love and support and remind them of all the amazing things that are available in their lives that they should focus on and be grateful for. And just like that, they can snap out of that helplessness feeling that is a big part of feeling stuck and being stuck in a place where you don't see any way out of. And ultimately, life is a place of ups and downs. And, we know that after every down, there's going to be an up. It's just a matter of being patient and using the tools, hopefully, that are available to us so we can get through it and then look back on and even be grateful for even that difficult experience. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you very soon. Bye.